Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. You are listening to Ramadan FM 2018, and there's your host, Councillor Shabab Mohammed, and I have a very special guest here, Shoaib Patel, who is a parent of Avenue School. And as you know, Avenue School has been in the press, local press a lot lately in regards to academies. As you know, we touched on academies a couple of shows ago, but I felt that we needed to expand on the subject and that really talk about it a little bit more. So I'm gonna just hand over to Brother Shoaib Patel, and he can tell us about his campaigning and Avenue School.
Mashallah. Like brother said, my name is Shoaib. I'm also a parent at Avenue Primary School, and our campaigns actually started back in June 2017, where the parents. Where we found out that the governors of the school, are looking to go into an academy status with a local mat, and we were only notified not by the school but by the teachers who were actually working in the school from the minutes of their meetings, and it was only then that they then arranged a meeting with the parents, and they gave out leaflets, and we actually went into a meeting first time ever back in June. And it was in this meeting where we were actually known about this situation that we had in the school. I personally didn't know nothing about academies, not one bit. I didn't know what an academy was, what the difference is when a school becomes an academy. So I myself actually went away for about 2 weeks and looked at it, looked at the pros, looked at the cons, what's good for it, what's not good for it. As a community school, is a community school better? Is an academy better?
You know, the thing with me is when I hear the word academy, and like most parents, I mean, you think academy and how great, and this school is going to become academy, and you see these letters going across the building, and you think, oh, you know, our school's going to become an academy. Our education's going to go up. Our kids are going to get a great education. But is this really the case?
It's not the case. The thing is that statistics up and down the country, number one, shows that academies do not make any difference to any results. Even the attainment level of any school doesn't go up at all. What does happen, though, is that the local community, the people, their say and their position with the school goes out the window straight away. For example, so an academy is no longer with the local authority, which means they get funded straight from the DFE, from the education department, which means that the local authority cannot go down and scrutinise anything. And so if you have an issue, you can't go to your local council. You can't go to the education department of your local council to actually do anything. It's like a company house business. So it's a business on company house, and if you was to go to a company house, and that's the only way.
Which is quite shocking, you know.
Well, it's like a business.
Yeah,
it's running like a business. If me and yourself were in a business, and I'm top man, and you wanted to come in and say, okay, look, don't worry, I'll supply you the books and the stationery and whatnot.
It sounds like a profit-related business, and you know, are we going down the lines of education for profit? You know,
but this is exactly what it is. I mean, is the actual goal of educating our children the goal, or are we filling the pockets of the coffers here somewhere else where someone else is actually benefiting from everything? And you may have heard, it's in the Guardian, it's in the papers, it's absolutely everywhere. Some of these CEOs are earning serious money. I mean, serious money. I mean, some of it.
Superheads.
Well, let's put it this way.
Let's talk about superheads, which is...
Exactly. I mean, some of these are actually earning more, according to the Guardian in 2017, earning more than the Prime Minister. So, you know, me and you can find out thinking, wait a minute, they've got 5, 6 schools, 10 schools, 15 schools under their wings. Yeah. But where is this money coming from? What, you know, how does this work? And how can it be justified? And the thing is, they justify it, saying that we're making it better. But then how does an academy actually suddenly show... I'll
tell you what's quite strange. I was listening to the radio once. I mean, we're on about academies, and the most shocking thing was that Jeremy Corbyn, Labour Party leader, was on there. And he was talking about academies, and he goes, I just had a teacher in my ward contact me, and he just asked me that I needed a school desk. And I thought, and I was going to myself, well, that's a bit of a strange request. Jeremy going, this is a bit of a strange request. A teacher, then he goes, I found out that this school was an academy, and they ran out of the budget. Obviously, so they didn't have enough money to actually provide an extra desk for a teacher, and he had a broken desk, which is, you know, again, a quite shocking situation.
It just goes to show that, again, what is the real reasons behind this?
Yeah.
So if a desk to a teacher is going to benefit our children, then you wouldn't think twice of providing one.
That's right.
So in other ways, if the actual education of the children is the key, then nothing else matters. Money should not matter. Nothing else should actually matter if it's going to bring the attainment of the children much better, especially for the local community. And in a community like where we're in Newham. So let's talk about Newham Manor Park. In Manor Park, it's a very diverse community. We've done a survey on ourselves of parents coming to our school, and our school, Avenue Primary School, is actually the second largest primary school in Newham, with 900 plus children in the school, with 4 tier, so there's 4 forms in each year as well, with a reception and a nursery as well. So you can just, goes to show that it's actually ringing bells to a lot of these mats, because it's a massive school. Yeah. So now per child, the funding that you're actually getting is brilliant. Yeah. You're getting serious amount of money there. Yeah. The issue then comes where you have the SEND children, so you have the special needs children. Yes. So then they also get paid a premium as well. Whereas at the moment in every community school that I know, it's actually 1-to-1. Yeah. As soon as it goes into an academy, it can go to 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1. So that's
so there's no constraints.
There's no constraints or nothing like that. Which means, again, a lot of these children they don't happen to stay longer in these actual schools because they don't see the benefit of it. Then there's an issue where parents become frustrated. So how does a parent now go and complain when there's an academy, when there's a map? Well, it's actually like a business appointment. It's like a meeting.
I mean, the most interesting thing about this story to me, and what really made me turn my ears up, was the parent engagement. It's like, what I really liked is the activism of you guys saying to the school that we're not having this, and actually getting involved. And the main issue is, we need this not just in one school, we need it everywhere, because I think a lot of people turn a blind eye to the education needs of their children and don't really focus on things like that are going to change it. I mean, you've got academies in, but a lot of parents are on school governing bodies, and when they do make decisions, they don't really understand what they're signing up to. I mean, would you say I'm right in that?
You're 100%. You're 100% correct. And as you said rightly, until communities don't get up, until we don't actually get up, and we're not active. It's not an act. We didn't campaign for this situation because we just don't like academies. We did it because it's not right for our school.
That's right.
And there's a difference. A lot of people did come out and say, you're completely against academies. No, well, there's some secondary academies might be working. Not in primary. There is nowhere. There's nowhere. So the fact is that for our school, where it's a good school, and it has been an Ofsted rated good school for the last 7 years, it has never gone down. There is no reason. The talk where the governors were actually coming to us saying that, well, it has to be an academy because we're going to be forced into an academy. Well, that's not the case, because in 2016, in March 2016, the law changed. That's and right. When the law changed, is that only those schools who are failing, who's gone inadequate, they will do it. It was then we realised where the beauty that we had in our campaign, I think, and I should say this very openly, is we had the support of the 77 members of the NEU staff in our school who were striking week in, week out for the last, this strike for 19 days. Now, for any school, and if it actually went 2 more days, it was actually broken a record in the whole country where no one has gone on strike for that long against an academy. And they were actually fighting for their pays and conditions to change.
That's right.
Which normally happens. They say it doesn't happen, but it does happen. The TUPE and the Green Book and the Burgundy Book, that all goes out the window. And then with that, the parents came up. And how these parents thing turned up, look, there's 5 of us, actually 5 of us, and we all our names begin with an S as well, funny enough, right?
S for super.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I don't know if I can name them, but
go on.
Shester, Shalima, Shamsun, Shabida, and myself, Shoaib. Yeah. So we all, I don't know if it just happened to be that we all just started with S, and it was with us on a weekly basis. We were getting parents together holding weekly meetings in the Froude Centre on Romford Road, in a local cafe as well. Week in, week out, we were holding parents different languages. I've got a leaflet here. in 18 different languages.
Which is, I'll tell you what, it's really good, because I'll tell you why. It actually, you know, when you look at it, the broad church of people that have actually got involved. I mean, you've actually got people from different religious backgrounds, different faith, and different countries, and got them all involved. And this is, you know, this is what is needed in Newham.
Well, let's put it this way: most of our meetings. I mean, I'm saying that we had a lot of the meetings in the church, in the calf and the thingy, but most of our meetings was in the church building, around the corner from the school, and which was given to us on the house on most of the place. The thing is then parents started to understand. Okay, wait a minute. This is not. It's not a very posh name. It's not a very posh thing to go into an academy, especially in a postcode like E12 instead of West 1 or West 2, or, you know, being in Mayfair somewhere. And they started to realise, okay, wait a minute, that it is not for us. It is not for our community. It's not for our children mainly. And where you've got, I'm not going to call them uneducated parents, but where you have a language barrier, where a 6-year-old, 7-year-old, or even a 10-year-old child has to explain every letter that comes from school to a parent. Yeah. What we then did is we got out leaflets like this.
I'm a child of the 70s, so I can understand of my parents coming over.
We did it ourselves, you know, in the thingy. But I must stress that you are much older than me as well. So. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, and what happened is that. The 5 of us were able to do that in different languages. I'm fluent in Urdu, Gujarati, in Arabic, Mashallah. In different things as well. Yeah. We had Bengali parents. Majority of the parents in the school were Bengali parents, and the thing is that the message 100% came across to the parents. Yeah. And whatever they wanted to do, it came back to us. Then we built 120 to 150 strong parent group, and that's what we're with right now. Yeah. We've got a whole massive parent group.
I've actually seen, I mean, this movement, you know, it's like, you know, when someone throws a pebble and it becomes a rock, and that rock becomes a mountain. This is what it's gathering.
And it's actually made presidents up and down the country, to be totally honest with you. Yeah. Our intentions, our niyyah wasn't there, but it has done. And I think what it's done is genuinely, we've done this on a genuine basis. We genuinely are against this. And the fact, you know, I can't say too much about the school and the governors. They're not here to defend themselves. But the fact of going, you know, till today, we believe that the school hasn't given us good enough reason, or did not give us good enough reason to go down this route, to why to go. We then later found out that, you know, some kind of best friends, you know, there's like a bit of an internal thing that was going on. But, you know, I don't want to go into this too much. But the fact is till today, we have not had, and we probably won't, because they've now made a decision against it anyway. But till today, I can categorically tell you that till today, the parents, neither the teachers or anyone, has had a proper reason why they wanted to go down this route.
And the other thing, the great thing was, I actually like the court route as well, because obviously, which
is still ongoing.
Which is ongoing, but as I said, it is really good. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like.
Well, let me. I think just to make everyone understand, let me go down very, very quickly through the chronology of what's gone on. So back in June 2017, on the 16th of June is pretty much when we all met up, when we found out what's going on. Went into July, letters came out on the last week of the school term. All right, saying that, oh, we're looking at this thing, and, you know, we're looking to go down to join them out, and this is what we're exploring, and we will go into it straight after the summer holidays, going into the new academy year, which was amazing, because whatever we wanted to challenge on that letter, we couldn't, because it was the last day of term. So it was amazingly done, you know. Yeah. You know, I'm sure it wasn't done by chance. But
I've seen it. Funny enough, I've seen this sort of type of way of done in a lot of other schools. Right.
So you know, it's a bit of a tactic, whatnot. Anyway, moving on, coming into September now. On the 26th of September, letters was received from the school. Sorry, a letter was received from the school stating that we're going to go down this route, and then there's going to be some kind of a consultation coming up. And that's about it. Again, it wasn't telling us much, saying that we're still looking at other routes, you know, maybe not going down the academy route, but we want to go into other routes, maybe soft federation, hard federation, you know, that happens with local authority schools and whatnot. And then coming into October again, so every time there was a letter sent, we were actually trying to get that letters confirmed, because obviously massive words, schools love to use big words, and not everyone understands these.
It's
big
a way
words.
of, I think, bamboozling the parents.
Exactly. So, again, it sounds really, really good in our schools. It is probably the best thing that the school's probably doing, and that's what it sounds like all the time.
Yeah.
We were challenging it. We were challenging everything. So, what do you mean by this? What do you mean by this? I can categorically tell you, since July 2017. Since July 2017, since the second or third week of January, not a single email reply was ever given back to us as a parent group from the school.
Which is absolutely, I won't mince my words, but it's,
it's atrocious.
It's unprofessional.
It is. This is from the chair of governors to the head teacher to everyone. And the thing is, then it goes to show that what confidence then do you have in
people
of that level, of that authority?
You're actually, I mean, the thing is, which is quite shocking, is that we send our kids to these schools and we're reliant on them not only getting a good education, but the administration of that school being run properly and answering our questions as parents. At the end of the day, it's quite shocking that the administration are refusing to answer any of your questions. And the other thing,
and their argument against this, when every time you raised it up with the governors, with the head teacher, is every letter that we sent out to the parents, your questions are answered in that? But it's not. But anyhow,
I think the analogy is, it's like, when you go into a supermarket and you pick up a tin of beans, right, and you're looking for all the great ingredients in it, right, but you're looking at the back and you're looking at the small print.
That's right.
And I think the analogy is that they're giving you all the jargon, but not actually giving you the small print.
Exactly. You don't know whether it's going to be this color or that color.
That's
basically.
right.
That's all it is, And then coming into it. So then we start getting our local councillors involved.
Yeah.
Say, look, they were coming to the first protest we done was in October. The first full governors meeting that they had, we stood outside and we absolutely lobbied them. We stood outside, and that was when one or two incidents that happened as well with a local councillor who we have on the governing board as well in our school as well, which such person turned around and said to everyone who was standing outside, said, no matter what you do, we will become an academy. And that's 2 months.
Well, you know what it is. I like the way you get in told that we're gonna do it regardless of what you think. And actually,
and you know what that does to us.
Yeah.
What does that do? That just gets you up, and you think, you know what, that's it.
Yeah.
This is, it's going to be a bit of an East London talk here now, and we got to get up and we got to do something about it. And I think everyone realised, Carol Buxton that you had here last time, she was actually there. Yeah. A person who's got an experience of 25 years plus in being a head teacher, turned around and said, no, there's many other ways that you can do this, but no, it's just never heard of, Coming into the November consultation that happened, I don't know how your kids are, right, but my 9-year-old could have done a better job in that consultation than any member of that governing board.
Which is quite shocking.
Which is why, and all it was a sheet of paper. It was like just like a what do you call it? A projector on the screen thingy, and it was just reading it word to word. And we could have just sat there for 5 minutes and done the same thing. The survey form which was given to us, which they didn't make it clear to us, which had mistakes in it, so they couldn't even give it to us on the day of the consultation. We then requested them that it should be posted out to every parent.
I mean, the main thing is, this campaign is growing bigger and bigger, and it's actually going ward by ward, area by area.
It is.
And now it's getting to a point. There's the parents are thinking, as soon as the word academy comes into their area or into their school, they're thinking, thinking twice about what the action is. What is it? And at the end of the day, you've got to look at things like the school assets. Now, I was reading up on it, and today someone posted me a story about a school in Greenwich,
right?
Which had a community field, and all of a sudden this school's become an academy. That bit of asset is become part of this company. Now the business that are running the school. So is it a way of asset stripping the schools? Would you say as well?
Well, let's put it this way: 125 years lease.
Yeah.
So every school that becomes an academy or converts to an academy, if it's part of a multi-academy trust, you've got 125 years lease. How do me and you know that in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years time down the line, it's still a school?
Yeah, exactly.
It could be anything.
Exactly.
In our school, our honourable caretaker has a school building. He had the place where he lives is part of the school. As soon as if it had become an academy, he would have lost his place of, or he would have lost his roof, basically.
Roof over his head. I mean,
exactly. And and again, like I said, our school is a very big school. You got serious land there. There's, serious amount
I've seen
of
it.
land
I've actually drove past there, and I've seen it.
It's a huge school. So yes, assets. It's big. Now,
and at the end of the day, what you got to remember is you got a caretaker that's quite passionate, probably you know doing.
And he's been there for years. Caretakers don't last. You know, they're not normally stay there for a year or two. They're normally there for good 10, 15, 20 years. You know, we all remember our caretakers from our schools. You know,
you're living there and being part of the community,
exactly.
And actually making sure that if we had a parent event or if the parents had an event in the school, that is made sure that it was locked up and the school is safe, making sure that if the caretakers weren't there in these schools,
it's 100%. It's 100%. So, look, the overall thing about all these academies is that it takes away that stance away from the community straight away. An academy becomes very good very quickly, because those students who they don't want, who are not doing so well, who are not performing so well, are taken out.
Which is, again, it's quite a shocking...
It is. So where do they go?
Yeah.
That was the school that, we've got parents, Shesta, Shalima, who are active parents with us. They went to the same primary school.
Yeah.
Now their kids are going to the same school.
And what makes you think, once it becomes an academy... is the school going to become a smaller school? Are we going to have a development there further down the line?
Exactly. You never know. You never know, because the local authority has no say in it.
Yeah.
The funding comes directly from the government, from Secretary of State, from the DFE, which means that the local authority cannot scrutinise anything.
And basically, I think the key issue here, I think we're missing, is that an academy school has the right on that pupil. So if he gets expelled or he gets expelled out of that school, he's going to find it very hard to get into another school if this academy is linked up to 5 or 6 schools in the area.
If I can remember rightly, there was a news story of a school, of an academy school. I think it was in Birmingham. Where in the actual school, the kids had to walk a certain way in the corridors.
Well, funny enough, you say that. I speak to my daughter who goes to an academy school, and she actually says that. She goes, it's like, and I notice it sometimes when I go to the parents' evening. It's like, you're robots.
Exactly. The thing is, yes, the argument maybe from them is that yes, you're working on discipline, you're working on this and that, whatnot. But the fact is that children at that age. I'm talking about primary. I don't know. Your daughter goes into
secondary, yeah.
So okay, the age difference is there.
Yeah.
But still, today schools are there to build confidence in the children. So then tomorrow they can go out and exactly what you're doing, probably what I'm doing, probably what a lot of other campaigners are doing, or at least got that confidence of going out there, standing on their 2 feet and doing something. When you're actually telling your children, okay, mate, you can't do this or you can't do that, and you've got to walk this way.
Yeah.
Then tomorrow they're going to say, well, oh no, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing because I've not been told anything.
Yeah.
Or I've not been told how to do it.
I think the main thing is the innocence of the
exactly,
child.
Of that age as well.
Yeah.
Of that age. We've all gone into that situation where, our children, they come running to us because they're scared of something. And the reason why they're scared of something is because they've never been in that situation. So it's quite dangerous. I don't know if that's too harsh of a word, but it seems very dangerous. And I'm not brushing all academies are doing this. Yes, a lot of arguments are coming forward that there are some academies who are absolutely brilliant. The thing is they again become brilliant because no one else can tell you what else to do.
Again, and at the end of the day, it's like the things like league tables come into it as well.
Exactly.
And I can remember when I left school and I went back to see one of the teachers, and he's actually moaning about the league tables. And I go, oh, what's going on, sir? And he said, well, the problem is we've got league tables that are coming, and normally the kids in this catchment area would come to this school, but now they've seen that we're so and so in the league table, and the parents are thinking that we're not a great school, and they're going to other schools, and this is, I think, in a way, it absolutely stops kids from developing as well. I don't know whether you agree with me or not.
I agree with you. It's all about this testing, and
Yeah.
testing, and I think that's where you're probably what you're saying. Yeah. All this testing business to make data, to make statistics, doesn't help any school.
That's right.
Because on our Twitter account, it was amazing. There was a group of teachers who actually sent, when the SATs came on a few weeks back, they sent out a letter on a Friday, the week before the SATs. So this particular teacher, it was amazing. And I wish I had a copy right now. But it was actually a letter sent to her children in her class. They had to do SATs from Monday onwards. And she said, all weekend you need to revise on certain things. And what you need to revise on is on your playing, on you enjoying yourself, going out to eat, go and do this. That's what you need to do to revise for your SATs.
Relax.
Exactly. Yeah. And this is what it is. So there's a lot of heads, there's a lot of management out there in schools who want data, they want stats, they want somewhere to be on a certain table somewhere. But they'll do this, not realizing that it's detrimental to the children.
You know the funny thing is, now obviously I've got a young child that goes to a primary school, right? And half the stuff they do, it bamboozles me, right? I'm going, bloody hell, I didn't do this at primary school. Yeah, how do you do this? And like, it could be anything from algebra and stuff like that. And it really, really, bloody hell, I'm going, how the hell did it? We've done this in secondary school, and they're doing it in primary
school. Exactly.
So,
but look, then it also goes to show one thing as well, that from our days, education has moved on. So what's happening now is that younger children are a bit more on point. You know, they're a bit more, with it type of thing.
I think they're IT savvy.
So as soon as I don't want to say this in a very bad way, but actually born with a phone or something, or a computer type of thing. Do you know what I mean?
I think the word you're trying to say is that once we used to go to primary school, we probably had.
I didn't see a computer until secondary school. Even that was probably on the third year or fourth year 8 or year 9.
I think we had like more in the parks, playing with your friends, playing football. I think we're in a generation where it's iPad and phones and everything.
They're telling us how to use it and whatnot.
Yeah, so it's a completely.
My son gets his homework. You have to log on to an internet website.
Yeah,
and then that's where the homework is.
Yeah,
and I thought, wow.
Yeah,
I thought I won't get him a computer until a bit later on. And he's only 9 years old. And I'm thinking, well, he's got to start learning this now.
Yeah,
but the thing is, so what I'm trying to say is that the sort of where our children are now growing up, they're a bit more sort of savvy with a lot of things out there. Education has also gone to that sort of level as well. But I'm a very strong believer where, I always say to myself that the ways of a person being successful may be 100 years backwards, but the goal is 100 years forwards.
That's right.
And I think that's what it comes down to. So my father, he teaches A-levels himself, right? But he could never go to a school or college or thingy to teach because he doesn't agree with the way he's taught.
Yeah.
He's one of those back in the 60s who actually, or the 50s, who actually went to Queen Mary's and was taught by the professors who were actually writing the books. Yeah,
that's right.
That he was actually reading or learning from.
Yeah.
So the thing is I think it needs to become real. We need to get real about education. And the thing is number one, when you're educating your local children, it's going to number one benefit your local area.
What is one of the other questions is, what is the future for the National Academies movement?
Well, the thing is it's a Labour government. Now, it's all we've got big eyes and big hopes on the Labour government. If the Labour government can come in, then straight away we can scrap this whole thing.
Yeah.
Schools at the moment who become an academy, according to the Conservatives, cannot go back. According to their rules, it cannot go back to a local authority no matter what happens. So there's many failing schools right now, failing academies up and down the country. The one in near Leeds, can't remember. It had 23 schools, a chain of 23 schools. Every single one of them failed. You know, now you can't go back to local authority. So what happens? Another MAT, but another MAT doesn't want to take it over.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's serious work to do.
Yeah.
So now,
and then employing new teachers.
Employing new teachers, but who suffers?
Yeah, exactly.
The children suffer.
And then we ask ourselves one
Exactly.
question: is our kids are on the street, maybe getting into
Exactly.
gang violence and everything else,
Exactly.
and we're saying, well, you know, he went to an academy school, but you know, if he's going to a failing school, and obviously the kids are getting caught up in gangs and everything else, it all links up, if you get the meaning.
It all links up, and the thing is that the pressure. So he works. You know, one of the sisters who actually was in our campaign, and she always says this every time we have a sort of a protest or a thingy. The happy school, you know, happy children, happy teachers, happy school.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
Yes, right.
When you have underperforming school, then the management then puts that pressure on the teachers. That means that their lunch breaks, all their breaks, they're staying in school for longer, they're getting in earlier, they're leaving later, their whole family life has gone out the window as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got a life as well.
That's right.
Right? Then they have to, because of these statistics that we need to put on data, they then need to make the books up and everything. All that effort goes on. So the teachers become under pressure. And then what happens is that a child just needs to do one or two things here and there, they snap.
I think what we're trying to say here, a child is a number to a statistician or a person in that school.
Exactly.
All you're not a person, you're just a number.
Education was very different, and me and you know that many
Yeah.
years ago. I mean, the school that I went to right now is a total failing academy.
Yeah.
You know, and it's sad to see it because it was one of the best schools in the borough. You know, and it was actually very good at everything, in football, cricket, and the works. You know,
Yeah.
it was there. And now, as soon as it became an academy, one of my ex-teachers, history teacher, I actually met just a few months back, Mr. Brown. And I said, Mr. Brown, oh, long time. You're still at Langdon School. And he said, no. As soon as it became an academy, I knew where it was going. That's it. I just left. And look at it now. It's just completely went out the window.
I mean, Langdon was a good school.
It was a top school.
Top school.
It was a top
I mean,
school. Our
people.
head teacher was there, Miss Wiseman. It was absolutely brilliant. I can talk so much about it, but
People, I think I've got nephews that obviously went to Langdon at one point or another, but I can just say that it was one of those schools that people fought to get there, make sure that kids went to Langdon.
School. We actually went. I used to live in East Ham,
Yeah.
and sort of Manor Park side of East Ham. So Manor Park across the other side and we used to walk it from there, all the way to Langdon School, and it's a long walk, but it was the school, at that time. So, where is education going? And I think this is where the worrying thing is, and this is where our campaign is there, is stick to local authority. Where we're not saying that we want the school to be scrutinised on everything, but the thing is that we believe that an academy cannot give that, can never ever give that support what a local authorities can give us support.
I think we got one of the other issues is obviously when parents are trying to get their kids into this school, and I think especially with secondary schools, I think if we have more academy schools, I mean, I think it'd probably go on the SATs results as well. Obviously, if a kid is not so bright and he's not done so well in the SATs, he might actually find it a lot harder to get into a school in his catchment area.
That's right.
This is quite worrying.
It is worrying, and I think. I think where it comes down to again is, see, like if my teacher had a concern with my child, then straight away she'll come and tell me, that this is the situation with your son. This is what you need to do at home. This is what you need to work on, and this is where we got parents' evening comes, and this is what we talk about.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen like this in academies apparently.
Yeah.
What actually happens is, well, you're not doing any good, so you got another chance.
Yeah. So, which is again.
So I don't know how to explain it. It's like I really don't know. It's a really bad form of a school environment.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that fears me is that our younger qualified teachers who are coming off qualified now, coming into schools, are seeing these amazing things about academies. And they're not realising that as soon as they hit the 29-year-old once they become 29, 30, because every academy, they pay becomes different after they become 30, they get laid off, and it's happened in many academies. So young teachers are kind of for it. You got the old 25-year service teachers who are saying they the old school teachers type of thing.
I think what it is, it's like a bit of software. It gets upgraded all the time.
Well, that's it.
And I think we're doing that with the teachers.
Right. It is. I think that's what's happening. And I think the NUT, the NEU, the National Educational Union, a motion was passed. We were actually called. This was amazing as well. It's happened. I don't know if it's happened before, but our campaign actually was attracted in the conference in Brighton a couple of months ago, and we were actually called as delegates, as parents at the conference as well. We were mentioned as well, and we actually done a fundraising as well for our legal challenge as well, which is ongoing as well at the moment.
I mean, is there a number? Is it still one you plug your number? And if there's any listeners out there that want to donate,
you can go onto a crowd justice page. There's a crowd justice page which is live at the moment on Avenue Consultations. I'll leave the details as well. We can stick it on the website as well. Yeah. And we've got our Twitter account as well, at Avenue Parents as well. We can follow us, and we've got a Facebook page as well. Avenue Parents again. Avenue Parents Group, is our Facebook page as well. Our campaign has gone up and down the country, and the only reason why is, I feel like what we said initially, is that communities got up to do something.
I think you need to give yourself a bit more credit, because at the end of the day, it's being an activist and actually saying, I'm not going to put up with this, and fighting for. No, at the end of the day, what you got to remember, you're not just fighting for your own child. Exactly. You're actually fighting for the children of that community that go to that school.
And years to come.
Yeah.
And in years to come, and just want to let all the listeners know as well, and they probably know as well, our motion, we had a massive deputation that actually went in to the full council in February as well. We started off with a march that happened from Plashet Park on the sort of the East Ham side of Plashet Park, which walked right through the High Street North. There was 200 odd plus people there. People from all over the place as well came. Our teachers joined us, our NEU reps joined us, our staff joined us. Our parents joined us. We were actually marched. The local councillors joined us. At that time, the current deputy mayor joined us as well. Yeah. And myself, and Shalima, who was with me, and Karel was there as well, and two other teachers. Louise Cafaro, who couldn't make it today. She really wanted to come today, but she couldn't make it today.
Well, I think I've got got good person who actually talked about a subject really, really passionately. Yeah. And it's really great having you here today.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And our motion got passed by the full council as well. So
well, we're just waiting for that. Obviously, we've got a change in leader. Obviously, we've got change in leadership. So we're waiting for the signature to go in on
our
that.
New leader does know that we actually, our eyes is on her, and she knows that she's given us the promises, and we accept it. We know that she will do it, and we have faith in her as well, and we have faith in that she will do a good work in our community as well. The thing is I'm a believer, and I think I just want to say one thing is that the whiteness cannot be separated from the milk. Yeah. The sweetness cannot be separated from honey, and the fragrance cannot be separated from flower. Similarly, the success of every children that goes into every school is because of these very teachers.
That's right.
Today, if I'm holding a pen up and I've written something, it's a credit to a teacher who's actually made that effort. And
has actually given you the knowledge and the power to actually get where you got.
In our deen as well, it's the same thing. Yeah. And in dunya, it's the same thing as well.
That's right.
And I think it is very, very important. It's very, very important that the actual principle of where you've come from to where you are and to where you need to get to is always in front of us.
And I think the main thing is that we do forget is that we live in a country where we actually get a free education. Exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, we go to a lot of other countries, people pay money to go to get an education, and it's a very few privileged that get that education. So it's a good thing that we live in a country that and our forefathers come over, and we were allowed to participate in this country and actually get a good education and got where we got.
I mean, look at the positions of the minority community. Great positions that we have got into, and it's got into because of the education of this country. You know, there's been many people who've actually come. Where I knew many friends who actually.
And actually, what you're failing to forget is that Mr. Brown that gave you the inspiration to do something or pushed you that little bit extra to get where you got.
Exactly. I mean, today we would have not even been in this campaign, let alone anything else, if we weren't actually passionate about education itself.
Yeah, that's right.
Many parents out there, unfortunately, I got to say this, but there's many communities, parents out there who actually, they just send the kids to school for 6.5 hours, come home, and then there's nothing else.
Yeah, that's
right.
Know?
And then there's those who are actually don't worry, better we gotta do something, we gotta make something of it.
Yeah.
And I think that it's a three-way thing, that teacher with the parents and the child. And if that works, an academy cannot give you this, it cannot give you the teachers or the parents thing. And if they can't give it to you, then the child will never be happy.
That's it. Brilliant. We have come to the end of the show. I'd just like to thank Brother Shoaib for coming in today and giving us a real inspirational talk and talking about academies. And again, it's been a real pleasure to have you on this show and really give us a good insight.
I'm absolutely grateful, and I think this opportunity and things like this, Ramadan FM radio, I mean, it's a great thing, and this is what's needed, not just for our communities, but for everyone. And it's platforms like this that we actually need. I've got to say this, it's platforms like this that we actually need in our communities where we can get our voices heard. And it's absolutely brilliant. Credit to everyone who's behind this, and may Allah reward you guys all.
No, well, obviously, before I do cut off, obviously we have got an FM license, and we are trying to raise money. And obviously, if there's any brothers and sisters out there that would like to donate to this great cause, please call on the donation hotline on 07840 551 119. And it's been great listening. Thank you for listening, and we are going to say goodbye today. And hopefully, I'll see you on Thursday for the next show. Thank you. Subhanallah.